Today on our podcast, we're going to talk with Maggie Gerich. She's been a real estate agent I've had the pleasure of working with for over 10 years. Enjoy.
Welcome to the 517 Capital City Podcast with your hosts, local professional photographer Natasha Daniels, Lansing's leading lender Robin Berg, and 517's real estate expert Kat Gandolfo.
Hi, I'm Maggie Gerich with Remax Real Estate Professionals and Rooted Real Estate, and I'm so excited to be on the 517 podcast.
You're awesome. I love that you're just I'm just like, well, she started, I'm like, am I in there? Yes, I'm
We're just going to have her
do her own introduction.
So today we have Maggie Gerich, which if you watched our first episode, then you know she's my mentor and like my guide and the person who has led me through real estate. So we were really excited to have you here. I really appreciate you coming on.
Super fun to be here.
Especially because it's her birthday.
It's your birthday.
Yes, it is Kat's birthday.
So Maggie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce the world.
The world to me. My name's Maggie. I've been in real estate for about 20 years now. I live in Lansing. I've got 3 children and am married to a wonderful man, and our favorite things to do are just to be outside, anything that we can do outside, specifically in our garden, or really enjoying the trail systems, or now that it's nice outside, kayaking.
I think you have taught me more about Lansing than I ever knew possible.
It's one of the things where, so I'm a lifelong Lansing resident. I'm 4th generation Lanstronaut. And
I like that.
The Lansing Facts page, they coined that phrase for us, which I think is great. So it's fun because there's so much to do here. And if you listen to some people, they will say that there's nothing to do in Lansing, but really there's a ton to do. Like there's almost too much to do, where there's no way
you can do it all.
That I can do it all. So like even just like this weekend on Saturday, there's a super cool walking tour with the Historical Society, but I can't go because I'm teaching a class for Capillary Housing Partnership, and then my daughter has her dance recital.
Wow.
And then I'm gonna go see Taylor Swift.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a quick side note question. Where do you find all the activities at? Because I might be one of those guilty that says there's
nothing to do
because I don't know where to look.
Anything that I'm interested in, I follow on social media. And so like I also really like finding the small businesses and seeing what they're up to, because there's a lot of just such amazing people here. And I love Lansing because we're really, really creative, we're really industrious, but we're also like full of grit. So we won't be, and I told somebody else last week I had a meeting that we're not pretentious.
Yeah, this is very true.
Yeah,
this is very true.
So social media a lot of times, and just being here and being out and finding the places. And I've been very lucky to work with a lot of people that just have really cool things going on. So that's, you meet one person, you meet another person, and then,
Awesome. Okay.
Well,
Back to our regular scheduled show.
Kayaking. So this weekend we kayaked from Tecumseh River Park.
Okay.
That's on Tecumseh River Drive, and we went, it was about 2.5 hours, and we got out at Delta Mills Park. But typically we'll do Delta Mills down the Grand River to the Willow launch. That's usually about an hour and a half, depending on how fast the current's going, or you can go all the way to Grand Ledge and JC Park.
Someone was telling me that Delta Mills is like one of the easiest places to get in on a kayak.
I totally disagree.
No? Maybe it wasn't Delta Mills, maybe it was someone else. But they said it's like a thing, it like shoots you out.
Oh yeah, they all have that now. They all have the kayak runs, so they're super easy to get in and out, whether you have a canoe or a kayak. But the launch is easy, but it was really shallow.
Oh no.
And so we had to get out of our boat.
Oh no.
We got stuck on rocks because there's rapids that come right before you get to Delta Mills. So we just got through the rapids, and then we both got stuck on rocks. We had to get out and pull our boats in. But typically it's easy. So
That's awesome.
water level's just low.
So how do you do it all? How do you juggle everything? You're a busy working woman.
Yep. So business owner, I'm very fortunate to have my business partner, Adrienne Lau, that helps with the leadership and splitting up what we have to do. but also am able to keep up my client load for real estate and helping people buy and sell. But I have 3 kids that span all the ages. So my oldest is 16 and my youngest is 5. And they're very busy. So the only way that this would work is that my husband's been a stay-at-home dad for almost 12 years. And that's really worked out for our family well, so that I can do the things that I need to do during the day, knowing that things at home are being taken care of.
Because this is a 24/7 thing, so
Yes.
Yeah.
hard to juggle it all. So that's awesome.
You take on new agents and they text you, with emergencies all hours.
That's what happens. Yeah. Yep.
When you run the show, that's part of the
That's how
job.
it works. It's part of the deal. So we have a really great working relationship, my husband and I together, and trust is the basis of all of it, but a mutual respect and understanding that there are some times where I'm going to miss dinner. There are times where I'm going to miss a Saturday or a Sunday at home because I have to work. And he doesn't make me feel guilty about it. And he does a great job in helping the kids understand why this is the way that it is. And we're so lucky that mom is able to do the work that she really loves to do, and we're able to live the life that we want to live. And sometimes that means that we eat dinner without mom. So
And it's good that your kids see how hard you work, and they see what comes from that. So,
Yep.
and that you enjoy it.
yeah, yep.
Kids see that, and that's important.
As a child of both self-employed parents, I think I got that.
Yep.
So I'm trying to, like we all do it a little bit differently than how they did it. Try to make it work for what my kids need and what I need to see them too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we figured it out.
What advice would you have for and you've given me a lot of advice over the years, for other people who are parents or, single parents too, or that are business owners and need to find that work-life balance?
I think the best thing that I've heard lately is that to be totally balanced is impossible, and so to stop trying. But to be able to be in whatever you're in the moment. So if I'm at work, I'm at work. Doesn't mean that I can't check in, but it means that that's where my attention is. If I'm at home, I'm at home. And of course, if there's an emergency that comes up, I can, but it's just keeping things separate so that I try really hard not to talk on the phone in the car with my kids. That's something that I experienced a lot as a child, and I hated it. So I won't take a work call unless it's an emergency when I'm in the car with my kids, because that is their time to talk to me. That's when the good stuff comes out. Mm-hmm. But biggest advice would just be to be gentle with yourself, because it's hard, and it's just the way it is.
You have to compartmentalize. That's exactly what I've heard. Is compartmentalizing. When you're doing one thing, you're doing that, and focus.
Being in the moment.
Yep, in the moment. I love that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take over Robin's because I'm just gonna snag it because she
That's
snagged
fine.
mine, and it works that way.
It's just fun.
So how did you get into the special programs that you have told us about?
So when I first started in real estate, that was when the foreclosure boom was happening. It was awful, and the houses, it was just a super sad situation, and it's just depressing, if I'm going to be real honest.
It was.
So as we got out of that, I started seeing all of these beautiful, new, really good quality homes for super affordable prices. And my buyers wanted these homes, and we kept getting writing offers, and we kept getting rejected. And I was like, what the heck? Why can't I get something accepted? So I decided that I would start working. At that time, the Ingham County Land Bank was who was doing these houses, and I applied to be a listing agent to work with them because I wanted to understand the programs to figure out what I didn't know. And so that's how it started. And it's been 10 years.
Awesome.
So
Very cool.
yeah.
So what are some of your favorite programs that people may not know about?
So the two groups that I work with now on the listing side is the Ingham County Land Bank and Capital Area Housing Partnership. Both have different missions, but they're similar in that they're bringing additional affordable housing to the Greater Lansing area. And within those programs, Robin knows because we've worked on a lot of them together. They are very tenuous and tedious, but if you can qualify, they're such amazing programs and give people such a wonderful opportunity. Like people that wouldn't have the opportunity to own a house like this, it gets them in there, and like how does that change their lives? Like how does that change the lives of future generations in the family? So that's why I love doing it. The Ingham County Land Bank is working on, they just released that they're going to be building 4 properties yet in 2023 for single family homes. And then they also have a condo development, like a row house project they're going to be building. There'll be 9 units that will be started this year, hopefully this summer. All those are going to have some income restrictions for area median income. 80% or under. That's probably too in the weeds to go at this point, but
Right. It is always funny when we do the open houses on those houses because people are like, oh, I'm overqualified to buy this house. I can't buy this house because I make too much money.
that is really, really frustrating to a lot of people, and I don't know how to explain it other than good for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
People usually take it really well, but they're always like, oh, I'm too successful for that.
Well, and like if I make too much money or like maybe debt to income ratio isn't quite right. The great thing is that these programs have been going on for long enough so that they're actually being resold. So actually we have Adrian's got a listing coming on Lathrop next week where it was a Ingham County Land Bank house, and so now they're reselling it. So even though it's not the first, it's pretty close. So, and then Capital Area Housing Partnership also has a lot of work that they do helping people work on their budgets. They have the first time home buyer class, and they've done just amazing things for helping people with rental assistance, or like they had a bunch of grants through COVID. And they're great people to work with too.
That's awesome. So this basically helps even like single parent homes be able to get into a home as well. So those people that are overqualified are typically,
if they're a dual income,
two working, parents that just make too much. So that's an awesome opportunity.
Well, and new numbers are out. I don't know if you saw the updated HUD, but they went up again. So just for a single person household now, I think the limit starting in this month is 50,500.
That's a decent increase though from what it was. So, I mean, I always say it's a good problem to have if you're over the income limit.
Right.
There's those problems you can have in life. But, but they at least gave it a jump.
Yep.
So it's worth a call if anybody does think that, they have questions about it. Call Maggie, call myself, and we'll walk you through those income limits and qualifications.
Yeah, it's an awesome program.
It is, and then Capital Area Housing Partnership also has 2 new constructions coming up yet in 2023, and then 1 rehab as well.
That's good.
Yeah,
everyone's always asking when they're going to come out with new houses.
There's a lot of construction that's going to be happening in the next couple of months, and the Ingham County Land Bank is going to have a house ready before the end of June that is all electric and solar, which I'm super excited about. So one of their big tenants has been green energy and energy efficiency, and so this is the first, their prototype. So I'm really excited to see it when it's done. It's close.
And I'm going to lead this question because I know how I want you to answer it, but for someone who wants to find out if they could buy one of these houses, when is the right time to start doing the research?
Now. Anytime, because these programs come and a lot of times we'll get calls and they're like, oh, I'm just thinking about buying a house. Let's do the legwork now, so that when they are available, you're already ready. You've got your pre-approval and all that.
Yeah, because it's usually first come, first serve.
Yep, that's the way they do it. First offer in.
So you want to be ready ahead of time.
Yep.
So it's not one of those wait and see when it comes around.
Yes, I don't want to get pre-approved until I see the house.
Yeah.
You're gonna love the house. Just do it now.
Right. Yeah. So do all your research, ask all your questions, get with one of these wonderful ladies who can help you, check off your marks and just.
Then you're ready when the house comes.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Don't wait.
They're very easy to find. You just Google them. I mean, you can go to the website, but I found them over and over again by Googling.
Yep.
Or just call Maggie.
Yeah, I was to say call Kat because Kat knows how to get to me and I'll tell her when they're coming. So that'll be the way.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Did they have anything coming up like any events or anything coming up soon?
So Capillary Housing Partnership has their big fundraiser actually this Thursday. I don't know when this is gonna be posted, so maybe it'll be too late, but they're always looking for donations. There's also a tool lending library for residents. So if you are thinking about doing a project but you don't want to go and buy a saw, you can just call them up, and you can borrow all kinds of equipment and tools from them.
That's super awesome.
I know, right? They also do classes. I don't think they're starting like the in-person classes again yet, but they've been having like how to install a vanity, how do you do drywall, like all these really cool things. And then also the Tuesday Toolmen, I don't know if you've seen their posts around, but like every Tuesday, this group of mostly retired people that have been in the trades will get together and they'll build someone a ramp in our area that needs it, having some mobility issues. So they're
That's
just
very awesome.
and they just love doing it. They're out like in all kinds of weather. And so follow their social media for Capillary Housing Partnership, and you'll see all the amazing things that they do for our community.
That's great.
It's one of the really amazing things about Lansing is all these just great people doing good things and good companies and
Yep. To your point about not knowing where, like how do you find the things? Like you just keep looking.
Right.
Because a lot of things are out there, and like even last weekend there were like 3 festivals that I didn't even know were happening, and I saw the after, and I'm like, oh.
So true.
there's always something going on in the 517.
There really is. And it's usually, again, after the fact that you find out about it.
Right.
Man, I gotta put that on my calendar for
next year.
Next year, yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
Or like if you've got a favorite event, like Scrap Fest, I kept missing, so I just went and followed their Facebook page so that I would know the date that that's coming up. And
We luckily just stumbled into that last year because we were celebrating something down there and we're like, oh, it's Scrap Fest.
Yep.
Go to Old Town or Rio Town every weekend and you'll find something.
That's true.
Like last weekend they had the chalk thing in Old Town.
Yeah. I missed it. I was shooting a baseball game, so it's like,
Too many choices. With all the great resources that we have, there's just, I don't know, take a drive and you'll find something fun to get into.
Exactly. So, is there anything else big a little bit farther out that people could?
As far as like
As
events
far as-
that they have, so in addition, like I mentioned, the first time homebuyer education classes. So if you're thinking about getting into the real estate market as far as being a first time homebuyer, they have MISHDA approved classes, which I think are great. They invite a loan officer, an insurance person, a real estate agent to come in along with one of their counselors just to give a very broad overview. And if you're going to be using a program like the City of Lansing Down Payment Assistance Program or MISHDA, you have to take a class anyway. And why not get more education?
Exactly.
It's a great class. And thanks to Maggie, I got hooked up with them, so this is fun. They
Yeah,
called me again yesterday.
Good.
They were like, hey, Maggie said that you could do this date. Could you also do this date and this date? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I said,
Good.
thank you for that information.
Yeah, they're super, super fun to do.
I've watched you take the class, or teach the class.
Yeah, and at this point, I just get weird with it, and I'm like, well, if like this is kind of dry information, so I just have fun, and I'm like, if I have fun, the people that are watching from home because they're not doing them in person at this point, so it's a great time.
I think that kind of sums you up, though. Like, you just are fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you.
you're sweet and fun. We had a team meeting, and she played music and showed up in a pink unicorn outfit from head to toe, dancing and giving us all cards.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was my Mother's Day gift for my husband, and I cried when I opened it because I think that's been like too far, like long ago, whatever. You can cut it out if it's not appropriate.
It's fine.
I spent a lot of my life just being uncomfortable in my own skin and not being sure if I was good enough, if I was too tall, I had glasses, my hair, and so really the majority of my 30s has just been me learning who I am, like legitimately
Learning to
deep
love
down and figuring it out. So I love silly things. Like I love cats. I love cat videos. I love cutesy weird stuff. Like I follow a page called Bad Taxidermy. Like it just cracks me up. And so I saw this unicorn costume, and it was in my Amazon cart. And he bought it for me instead. And so I opened it and I cried. And so that was the whole thing. I came to team meeting wearing the unicorn because when we are our true selves and feel very comfortable within ourselves, we are going to attract the people that we're supposed to be in contact with. And I've been so fortunate to just be with all these super cool people just because
You're super cool.
that's what we're all about.
I would never guess that. Knowing you all the years that I've known you, I would never guess what you just said.
You know,
You come from a place of such confidence. I would never in a million years have guessed that that's how you felt. So
I would say that the majority of people that come across that have deep things that they're really insecure about that, if they've worked through.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
thank you, Brene Brown.
that really is because you come off extremely confident in yourself and everything. But part of that's probably because you are doing what you enjoy doing. So
Yeah.
I mean, you truly enjoy. What do you enjoy about real estate? What's your favorite thing?
I like the continued learning. Like at this point, I really, really like the education piece that I'm able to provide to, and I think you feel the same way.
It's never
about
the
it.
same.
Yeah.
Ever, no matter how many years you've done it, it is never the same deal.
Yes, and all human beings are different. They all have different desires and goals and pain points, right? So part of it is figuring out
all the different personalities, all their different, why are they buying the house? What's the why?
Yeah.
All those different things, and every deal and every home and completely different. Keeps you on your toes all the time, and you're constantly learning every day.
Every
Never
day.
know it all.
Yeah.
You two both do have you're very well, this is who they are, and if you follow based on this, then you know that they're going to feel this.
The personality,
it's amazing.
This profile.
Your understanding of human beings is so deep.
Well, because if I wasn't a real estate agent, I'd be a therapist.
Oh, you'd be good at that too, but stay in real estate.
I mean,
It's a little bit of everything though, because you have to de-stress people. You have to make them feel comfortable. You have to get their reasons for hesitation out. What's stopping them? What's driving them? What's their why for buying the house? So that's why I like the personalities and knowing their different personalities and how to communicate with them best through the process because it's so stressful. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
it's our job to try to take the stress away, and the better you know that client, the better you know how to deal with their stress as they.
And the more people you meet, the more people you're like, oh, okay, well this is
Exactly. You can nail it and say, this is how I need to communicate with this person to make it the best experience possible.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. So how do we tell our viewers how to find you if they have questions, or what are your best ways to contact you?
So social media is a great one. You can follow the Rooted Real Estate of Greater Lansing at REMAX, either Facebook page or Instagram. Also Maggie Gerich Realtor on Instagram, or you can just give me a call at 517-303-0527.
She's easy to find.
Google yeah, Google will have it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming today, and it's been so much fun.
Thank you so very much. Do we want to sing the cat?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear cat. Happy birthday to you.
That was really pretty. I thought I was like, I can edit this part out, but then I was like, well, maybe I'll leave it because they were pretty singing.